Kathy Wilcutt from Magnolia Heirlooms. We're back for our section 2 of our Cup of Cheer quilt. And today we're going to start on our mitten block. We're going to do, in this video, we're going to do our applique mitten, our first applique mitten. Then we're going to do some just embroidery block, stitched blocks, embroidery blocks. So let's see. The mitten one we're going to find on page 14. I'm going to move you over here. And this is the mitten. This is the one that we're going to be working on. We're going to hook our stabilizer. We've already ironed our fusible backing to our background fabric. I have pulled up my designs. And I have my background design, and then I've layered on top of it the applique design. So we can just keep it all in the same frame. We've been moving machines around, so today I am working on my Destiny 2. Just to show you that you can use whatever machine that you have to do this. And it doesn't have to be the latest and greatest. They're all fantastic machines. Okay. I have, for our mitten block, you have our background fabric here, our little top of our mittens here, and this is our mitten itself. And I have already hooked my stabilizer into my hook. I've got my scrap piece of batting ready to go. And we're going to go ahead and stitch out the batting placement. Hopefully we can do better with our videography here. But you're stuck with me, so. We've had a lot of you ladies that have joined, and I appreciate you coming on and watching with us. And hopefully by the end of November we will have a beautiful quilt time and won't have been rushed to do it all. And I have my placement down for my batting. I'm going to place it down here and go ahead and stitch that. I'm going to stitch it and then trim it, and I'll be right back, and then we'll do the rest. Okay, I've stitched around my batting, I've trimmed it, and I've stitched the placement line for my background piece, so that's what I'm going to put on next. I'm just going to lay that in the hoop. Make sure that I've covered everything. We'll stitch this real quick. Ready now for our background stitching. I'm still going to do the white like I've been doing on all of them. I'll go ahead and start it, and then I will come back when it's finished. Okay, it is finished. Now we're going to do our mitten tack down line. I'm still going to be using my white thread. And that won't take but just a second. going to take our fabric right side up, and this fabric, you decide which is the right side and which is not. I'm not sure. So here we're going to put it up and make sure we're covering everywhere the mitten line is, because we're going to trim this off as soon as we stitch it down. And you know, I think I'm going to change that to a red just in case it peeks out. Just don't want to see any extra stuff there. And you can tape this down if you need to. Okay, I'm going to trim this up and do the tack down line. I'll just trim this up and be right back. Most of what we've been trimming has been just straight lines and not been a problem. But right here in our mitten, I'm going to go in this little corner, we got to be sure that we get as close as we can. And that's why we need some scissors that have a sharp point so that we can get right up in there as close as we can to that stitching, so that our satin stitch covers that well, which I think it will. Now I'm going to stitch the place down of the top of the mitten, this piece. It's going to stitch right up here. I am on page 14 and number 3. Let me move you over and show you where I am. I am right here, and we're at number 3. We're stitching the cuff placement line. Then we're going to put the cuff on, stitch it down, and trim close to the line. So I'll do all of that and be right back. Okay, I have that stitched down. I have it trimmed out. And next it's going to tell me to, let's go back to the book. We're going to stitch the wavy detail here. So I've already changed my thread to the pink color, which is what they're recommending. And then we're going to stitch the little star, and then we're going to stitch the little dots on the end, which those two are white. When we finish that, we're going to do our satin outline of the mitten, and then we're going to come back and do our satin outline with the green for the top of the mitten. So here we go with our wavy outline. Oops. Don't think I'm threaded there. Sometimes I forget to do my push the button to make it thread. So let's do that first. There we go. Now I'm going to back up. Now we're at the beginning. Let's try that again. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is the star, and I'm going to switch my color back to white because the star and the dots are white. going to stitch all the little dots. So I'm going to start it and then I'll turn off the video and we'll come back when we get through with the dots. Okay, we got our dots are finished. You can see it trims some of the jump stitches and it didn't the other. I don't know if that's my machine or if that's the way it was digitized. But what we're going to do now is to satin stitch around the mitten. And we're going to do that in red. And then we'll come back and satin stitch around the cuff. And we'll change to green to do that. So I'm going to do both of these. Without the camera on, because you can watch your own satin stitch instead of watching me. When we get through satin stitching the cuff, then we'll come back because there's one more thing that it's going to do to help us with our trimming. So I'll get started and I'll be right back. Okay, gosh, doesn't that look cute? Next we're going to stitch our trimming guides. That's going to tell us where we trim top and vertically, the top and bottom of this block. It has to be 4.5 by 6.5. On the 4.5 width, it will be you'll just center it horizontally, but the vertical, we're going to stitch these two guides, and you're going to find that on page 14 under number 10, and it says your thread is going to be visible. So I put my white back in so that I won't see it peeking out when I sew everything together. Once you stitch these two lines, there'll be one at the top and one at the bottom. Then we will take it out of the hoop and be ready to trim it and move on to the next block. Okay. If you're using the orange pot rulers, then those are the lines that you'll put on the inside edges of your top and bottom. I'm going to trim up my jump stitches and trim the block, and we will be ready to move on to the next thing, and the next one will be 'Tis the Season, and I'll get that all set up and we'll get right back to you. Okay, we're on page 22. We're going to do the 'Tis the Season to Snuggle block. We have our light mesh cutaway inner embroidery hook. We've ironed our fusible batting on. All we need is the one piece of material for the backing. And then our block by block quilting. We're going to use the cup, the 4x6 design. So we layer that on the first thing, if we're doing the block by block, and that's what I'm doing. And then we're going to load our embroidery file into it. And as I've been doing, I'm going to do white and as my background. So the one thing I didn't get was the battings, but I have it right here. So I'm going to stitch out our placement line for our batting. I'm going to trim it and then come back and put in my background fabric. So be right back. Okay, we're ready for our background quilting, and I'll start it up and see when it gets finished. Oh. Okay, the whole time we've been quilting, we've been using white bobbin thread because our colors are light, and white's just normally what you use. But we're going to embroider "'Tis the Season 2" in black. So we don't want a white bobbin on the bottom. We want black on, if we have white on the bottom, if your tension isn't just perfect or something pulls a little wrong, then you're going to have white pokies up at the top of it. So what we're going to do is put in a black bobbin for this part. There will be a few other times in this quilt that we'll change to a black bobbin, but not many. Most of the time we will be using the white. So I put in my black bobbin. I'm going to change my thread to the black thread. We're also stitching on white cloth, or the back, mostly white cloth. So we don't want, it's just a bad combination to put two different, a dark and a light top thread and bottom thread. In a perfect world, it wouldn't matter, but we all know how that is. Sometimes the embroidery goblins come in and totally mess you up. Okay. I think that didn't come all the way through. There we go. So I'm going to put my embroidery hook back on. And we are ready, set to go to do "'Tis the Season 2", and then we'll switch to our pink for the snuggle part. So I'll get this started and then I'll come back when we get through with the black. So we're done with the "'Tis the Season 2". We're going to remember to take out our black bobbin, because just as bad as it would have been to have the dark on the top and the light on the bottom, it would be vice versa, would be bad too. Doesn't work out really well. So I'm putting back in my white bobbin, and I use pre-wound bobbins from Filtech for my embroidery. You do what's your favorite thing to do. Okay, so I've got my thread changed to the pink, so we're going to start the snuggle, and then we'll be finished and ready to jump on to the next embroidery. So I'll get this started and then I'll be back when it's done. Okay, we finished embroidering our "'Tis the Season to Snuggle" block. Isn't that cute? Now all we have to do is trim it up to the 4.5 by 6.5 marks. Take it out of our hoop and then trim it down. And the next thing we're going to do, and we're going to knock some of these out real easily, hopefully, is the MRRY blocks. I'm going to show you the first one block. We're going to do the M, and the others are done exactly the same way, only following here which of your background quilting that you want to do. And they're all going to be trimmed up to 4.5 by 4.5. And I believe it tells you, looks like it's the pink and the green or teal. I guess it's your choice what you would like to do there. Add the M, an R in the pink, and this R in green, and the Y in the dark teal color. So let me get that all set up and we will get on with this one. Okay, I have my background fabric for the M, which is the green. I have my design loaded up, layered, just like I need it to be. I have it ready to go for embroidering. Like I said, I'm going to show you this one, and then I'm going to let the others are done exactly the same way. So I'm going to stitch the batting placement line. Had not finished. Okay, I'm going to see if this will fit, and it will. See if I can't conserve some of my batting, even though they're scraps. I'm going to take out my batting. I'm going to trim it and do my tack down lines for my background fabric and get ready to do my fill, and I'll be right back. Now I'm going to change to my pink thread and stitch out our M, and we will be through with the M block. And we'll follow the same procedures for the other 3 blocks. Is finished. I am going to finish stitching out the other 3 letters, and we'll come back when I get them all through. Like I said, you do them exactly the same way. You will have to go in and change out the background quilting for each one, but it's just very simple, quick embroidery. All right, see you back when I get them all finished. Okay, we have one more letter. These are the ones that we've done in this video. The most of the letters of Mary. We've done our "'Tis a Season to Snuggle." We've done our one of our mittens. In the second part of this set of videos, we'll do the second mitten. And there's one more letter that we need to do now, and it's the E that goes here. And the reason it's done a little bit differently is it will have, as you can see right here, it will have a piece that's velcroed onto it that you add on the 23rd day. So we got to do a little bit different process of the E. On this page, we have our background fabric for the E, which is just the gray stripe. And we have our little Velcro dot, the larger Velcro dot that's in your embellishment kit. And it calls for fabric glue, but we learned the last time that the sticky on the back of the Velcro, the hook and loop dots, sticks well enough to hold it until you can get it done. So I have hooped my lightweight mesh cutaway stabilizer, and we put our fusible backing on our background fabric. And for our block quilting, we're going to use the Winter 2 design, the 4x4. We're going to put it on our embroidery screen, and then we're going to come and we're going to layer our E on top of that so that we can get to stitching it down. The colors that we're using are red and navy and white. So let's get started on that. I've got my fabric hooked up, and I'm going to stitch my tack down stitch, my placement line for my batting. And then we'll put their hook, we will put our background fabric on down. Oh, I cut a piece of batting. That's not bad. Put our batting down, and then we're going to put all of our other pieces down and do our background quilting. And I'm not going to show you every step of this because we've done this over and over. So you got this down pat. If anybody has any questions, then let me know in the comments, and I will go back over something if you need it. All right, see you in a bit when I get all this done. Okay, I have my E embroidered. The date is also embroidered, and I put down my Velcro dot. They'll do a tack down placement line. You'll stick it on there, and then it will stitch on top of it for you. Now the last thing we're going to do on this block is to do our trim guides. So they're going to be at the corners. This is the edge of where we're going to be trimming. Okay, that ends the embroidery for this. We need to take it out of the hook and trim it up. That is going to be all of the first video of section 2. This little Velcro piece will hold the Advent holly that sticks on day 23. And we will get to work on the second video, which will give us the rest of section 2. And we'll get that sewn together and be done with 2 sections so far. Any questions that you have, any suggestions that you have, please let me know in the comments, and let us know about you. You know, there's a lot of different people from across the country that have joined our group. So I would love to hear from you and know a little bit about you and see how you're coming and see your progress, your blocks, no matter what the progress is. This isn't a race. It's actually fun to sit and do these blocks. You know, we did all the hard work at the very beginning, and now we're doing all the fun stuff. So, and it's kind of interesting to see it all come together. So, I guess I will see you on the section 2 video. The second section 2 video. I'll get it set in a minute. Thank you very much for joining us. Talk to you later.